Hello friends, welcome to this video of Microsoft Excel functions. Now as we know that there are three measures of central tendency that are mean, median and mode. Out of that we have already gone through calculation of this average or mean in a separate video, and in this video we are going to discuss how to calculate median and mode in Microsoft Excel. Mode function has two different sub functions which are MODE.SNGL and MODE.MULT, and we will discuss the difference between them when we discuss mode separately in this video. Now to calculate this thing, we have this data set in which we have random blood sugar numbers of various people, and we will calculate mean, median and mode for this data set. So first we will try to calculate the average, which we have already gone through, and we will select this data set and press enter. So it will give us the average RBS level in this data set. Next we will calculate median. As we know, median is the central value when we arrange this data in ascending or descending manner. And similar to our understanding that if we have even number of data or samples, then it will take average of middle to data. Whereas if the number of samples are in odd number, then it will take the central number as an median. So to calculate this median, we have the function median in Microsoft Excel, and after that we can select the range for which we want to calculate median and press enter, and it will give us the median data out of this data set. Third one, that is mode. Now in mode, if we see here, we have these three functions. Out of these three, the last one, that is marked by the compatibility. So this is a compatibility function, and as we see here that MODE.SNGL and MODE.MULT were introduced in 2010 Microsoft Excel, and before that only mode function was there, and this mode function and MODE.SNGL function are having same functionality in different versions. So if you use this MODE.SNGL and MODE.MULT functions, it will not be accessible to prior version of Microsoft Excel. So in today's discussion, we are going to discuss MODE.SNGL and MODE.MULT. Now we need to understand that what is the difference between calculation of this MODE.SNGL and MODE.MULT. So as we know that in some of the cases we can have this kind of data where the distribution can be unimodal, that is there is only one mode in the data set, but sometimes there might be multiple modes or two modes or three modes like that would be there in the data set. For example, like we are taking blood pressure of a population, then there might be one peak where there are normotensive people and one peak can be there for the hypertensive people. So if we do not separate both those data, then we may have two different peaks of this data set. So it can be multimodal as well. Now whatever we are calculating in this MODE.SNGL, that will give us only one mode out of this data. But if we suspect or know that there can be multiple modes in the data set, we can use this MODE.MULT. Now limitation of this calculation of MODE.MULT in Microsoft Excel is that it identifies the multiple modes based on the exact frequency on that data. So suppose in this example here in bimodal distribution, though we have two different peaks, but number of people at both these peaks are different. So suppose here it can be 100 people and here there can be 75 people. Though both these are peak in this bimodal distribution, but the absolute frequency at this point is different, and that's why if we calculate MODE.MULT in this data set, it will give us only this peak, not this one, because it calculates based on the absolute frequency of the data. It is not a calculation based on distribution of the data. So that's why it would be better to use this kind of graphical presentation to identify the multiple modes rather than going into this calculation itself. So we will understand how to calculate both these things, but practically if you are doing any analysis, rather than depending on this calculation of mode multiple, we should go for this graphical representation for identification of mode. Now, to calculate mode single, we will use this mode single function. Select this data set and press enter. So it will give us the mode in this data set. Now to calculate this mode multiple function, we will be using the dynamic array formula. The details of dynamic array formula would be discussed in a separate video. So here we will just learning that how to apply this dynamic array function. For that, we need to select the number of cells similar to number of modes that we expect to happen in this data set. So suppose we expect that there will be 3 or 4 modes, we may select similar number of cells or more than that number of cells. So here we are selecting about 6 or 7 cells in this range. Now we go into the formula bar, we type mode.MULT, then we select the data range, we complete the parenthesis, and after that we will press the key Ctrl Shift and enter together. So it will enter into the array formula of the selected data range and it will give us the number of modes available in this data set. So here it has shown that there are 3 modes in the data set, and after that it is showing this error, which means that there are no more modes in this data set except these 3. Now here we will try to calculate the frequency of each and every of this mode by countif function. So countif, this is the range and this is the value for which we want to calculate the frequency. Here we will need to make this range absolute to prevent change of range when we drag this formula downwards. So here we can see that each of these 3 mode has 3 numbers or frequency, and that's why they had been identified as modes in this multiple mode function. And that is the limitation of Microsoft Excel which we are talking in reference to this image. So that's all related to calculation of this measures of central tendency in Microsoft Excel. Hope you would have liked them and it will be helpful to you in calculation of various central tendency in your dissertation or thesis or any paper. If you do have learned something new in this video, kindly like the video and share it. Comment in this video if you have any issue in applying these measures or calculations. Kindly subscribe the channel and press the bell icon to receive all the updates of this channel in your YouTube. Thank you.